Hey guys, and welcome to a quite frankly ridiculous battle. I'm a rubber duck of war playing under the guise here of the Blind Bandit, taking the Golden Order up against J Raptor and his mighty Lizardmen. So we are in fact going to be pausing the game here before we kick it off, and we're up against YouTube Armor Royalty. J Raptor, the best, I think it's safe to say, armor YouTuber in the entire game, so I'm sure he has one or two tricks up his sleeves. If you guys do enjoy armor content or awesome content in general, make sure to check out J Raptor under the name Rubik's Raptor. But we have a few tricks up our sleeve. Now, it may look like we're playing the Empire. No siree, not today, we are not. We are playing a full Mercenary rush build led by Balthazar Gelt, the richest man in the Empire, who's also going to be paying his mercenaries quite handsomely here to get them onto the battlefield. So we have Balthazar Gelt up in the sky, Searing Doom and Final Transmutation shall be his poisons of choice. We have a couple of units of free company militia, 2 on the left-hand side and 3 on the right, one of which is indeed Sterlinder's Revenge, who I actually think are a pretty decent competitive pick that I would like to see far more often. I love the little eye patches. These guys are a hybrid kind of shooting and combat unit. I need them quite badly here to counter skirmish where possible, because the rest of our build is Ogre Mercenaries. On the flanks we have Mournfang Cavalry, one on either side. In the middle is made up of Man-Eaters with great weapons, Ogres with dual weapons, and I think that's it basically all the way along. And should be a good fun rush. Now, there's a big problem with Ogres in general, and something I'm actually really worried about with the Ogre Kingdoms coming into probably Game 3. Most people predict they will be the early access, well, not early access, but the pre-order bonus, is that they're rather big targets. They're not the fastest, of course not slow by any means, they have quite long legs, but they don't have much armor and a very big target. So I think particularly in the current skirmish meta, Ogres could really struggle. So I would like to hear your guys' thoughts down below on how that you would kind of fix Ogre Kingdoms so they don't get abused too much by skirmish cavalry and missiles in general. As for my opponent, he has plenty of missile pressure. We have double Chameleon Stalkers in the back, 1, 2, 3 Skink Skirmishers leading the front line, load of Skink Cohorts in the secondary line, and then we have Salamander Hunting Packs, 2 of them, as well as an Ancient Salamander in the centre. I'm loving this build right now. We have 2 Solar Engines as well in the back burners. We have Temple Guard, who are going to be sworn guards today of the Skink Priest of Beast, coming in with Pan's Impenetrable Pelt and a Manticore Summon, and we have Tic-Tac-Toe, the Meister himself, in the skies, looking to get revenge on all the times I have insulted him in the past. Solar Engines are going to be just taking off the hats there of a couple of free company militia, but the shot, luckily for me, does go over, and we're really pounding down these Skink Skirmishers. The sheer weight of fire, and a lot of people seem to be scared to shoot these type of skirmishers. Go for it, yes. A lot of times, those Chameleon Skinks, they have that glorious missile resistance, but they can be rather squishy at the end of the day. They are just but skinkies. Man-Eaters, as well as Ogres with dual weapons, are going to be bomb rushing. There's no fancy way of doing this. We're going to slam into enemy battle line, take a load of damage, but hopefully crump our opponent before we take too much. Mournfang Cavalry is going to overload this flank and take a bucket ton of damage here from the Salamander Hunting Packs, but the Ogres are afoot. Going to be jumping on top of them, lifting up those fire doggos and breaking their spines on their knees. Salamanders, unfortunately, not going to be faring too well in combat up against the Ogres. Now, the Skink Skirmishers doing some really nice damage to us, just constantly peppering us down. We have called the Ancient Salamander, as well as all the Salamanders, in fact, and Mournfang Cavalry have decent armor piercing, so they are going to be hopping on top of the Solar Engine, trying to drag it down where possible. We're doing a nice approach on the right-hand side. However, we do have some free company militia left in the back who are simply getting destroyed. Look at the Chameleon Skinks go about their butcher's work. That's 2 dead units of free company militia straight out of the gate, but they have now used their blasting charges up, which would have been quite useful up against the Ogres in general. Balthazar Gelt is getting down and dirty with the Skinks, trying to overrun them where possible, but now he's getting up in the sky because he sees the air pressure coming towards him. We have Tic-Tac-Toe plus a Ferromanticore. That is some very scary stuff. However, Tic-Tac-Toe is indeed made of paper mache, so the free company militia lacing some shots up. Just one volley gets him down about a third HP right now. We're going to hit him as well with a Final Transmutation. It looks like it is actually an overcast one, which wasn't really necessary here. It was a bit of a misplay on our behalf, but hey, I really wanted to get Tic-Tac-Toe off the battlefield, and it looks like Balthazar Gelt is going to be able to drive him away, so that is a dead lord for my opponent there. Right-hand side's going relatively well for us. Left-hand side, not so well. Temple Guard are doing their butcher's work right here. We have Ogres in here. We have Ogres with great weapons. We have Mournfang Cavalry, all desperately trying to shut down the Solar Engine, but the Temple Guard are remaining strong. And this was a big misplay play by me here. For some reason, I thought these guys were Saurus Warriors because, hey, I've got a little duck brain sometimes, and I should really be pulling back where possible. We do not want to engage those Temple Guard. We want to allow the Free Company Militia to unleash shots into them. But though that part of the battlefield is going badly for us, the main fight's going pretty well. We now have Ogres with dual weapons on top of the Chameleon Stalkers with the assistance of the Mournfang Cavalry. That should be quite a comfortable and easy fight. Likewise, we are shutting down one of the solar engines as well as the Salamander hunting packs in the distance. These Free Company Militia, these three of them, the other two unfortunately didn't fare too well, but these three boys are really rinsing the damage here on the enemy. I've been very impressed actually with the Company Militia throughout. They've been certainly worth their buck right now as mercenaries. Salamanders have been shattered and forced off. We will dispatch Balthazar Gelt just to break off the Bastildon and ensure that it does get forced off the battlefield for good. I do like this little combination of the Ancient Salamander, giving that extra fire weakness to units, combining that with the Salamanders, but now it's been used to target down the Free Company Militia. A good target for sure, but unfortunately for Susan here, man-eaters with great weapons are going to be engaging in combat, and though she can be a ferocious beast, I don't think she's going to be faring too well up against this many ogres. They may be man-eaters, but they can certainly go for a side of salamander. Oh, really nice shots coming in here. We're running the gauntlet of death right now with this unit of Mournfang Cavalry down here. Skink Skirmishers, whittling shots in the flank. Salamanders as well got off one last volley before unfortunately getting shattered. We're now going to try to use the cavalry to chase away the skirmishers. Unfortunately for us, they will be getting poisoned down, and they are not the speediest of all cavalry. 64 speed at the moment, that is of course with the applied poison, and with only 90 armor, they're actually really badly getting kited now by the skirmishers. We do eventually jump on them, but as we do start to rout. Now, the Free Company Militias are all unloading shot after shot into the Temple Guard, seeing them as the biggest threat left on the battlefield. Skink cohorts will be coming in with Chameleon Stalkers now, so we're going to be trying to pull some Ogres with dual weapons over to the side to help defend our troops, but the Ogres do break, and some lovely shots coming in now by the Solar Engine, really bringing the pain to us, though we do have some Ogres also descending upon him from the flank. Man-eaters are desperately trying to get towards the Solar Engine. Good play here by my opponent, though. Going to be bringing back the Temple Guard. Their job now is to, forget Salans, forget Skinks. Our main job is to guard this Solar Engine, who has currently been harassed from all sides. The Man-eaters, realising their opportunity moment has gone and passed, and are now just going to be used to a jump on Skink cohorts. Mournfang Cavalry is really desperately trying its best to hunt down these Skink skirmishers. This is actually my second unit that I've dragged over to try to break down the skirmishers, and it is not going well whatsoever. The little Skinkies darting in all different directions, once again going to be breaking the cavalry, who did get 130 kills though, so it's not too shabby. Balance power is currently in our favour. The Ancient Salamander goes down. Ogres with dual weapons doing a decent job there. And Balthazar Gelt is basically full health. It looks like we are going to be dropping a big old fat final transmutation. It is overcast as well, hitting the Solar Engine, hitting the Temple Guard, as well as the Skink Priest. Really nice work there by Balthazar Gelt, being followed through as well by the Free Company Militia. And though the Temple Guard have taken a ton of damage, they stand firm in the sight of any danger to the great plan. The Chameleon Stalkers were trying their best in the back to harass our Free Company Militia, but Balthazar Gelt does rally the Ogres once more with a little wave of a gold coin. They will come running, and we do manage to break off the Chameleon Stalkers. So things are going pretty well for us right now. Temple Guard, though, do get Pan's impenetrable pelt popped on them. We're going to be coming with a lovely little Seer and Doom onto the Skink Priest and the Bastillodon. It doesn't really do much damage, though, which is a little bit unfortunate for us. And we're trying our best to get rid of the Temple Guard, who are driving forward now hard into our battle lines. The Great Weapon Man-Eaters are going to rear charge them in an attempt to break them here. I believe the Man-Eaters do indeed cause fear, and the Temple Guard just falls shy of reaching the Free Company Militia. My opponent, though, does summon a rather late Manticore into the game, which could go really well for him if he can drive off Balthazar Gelt, or even better, just hunt down the Militia. I don't actually have that many troops left on the battlefield, despite the balance of power liking us quite a bit. We do have some Ogres in the back who need to return. They were busy chasing off Susan the Salamander. And though we have a load of ammunition, we could probably bring down the Bastillodon. There is a load of Skink Skirmishers who have now managed to shatter the Mournfang Cavalry, despite the fact they still have 5 models. They've simply routed too many times and are eating too many darts. But luckily for me, my opponent's ammunition is starting to wane and run out. Balthazar Gelt should be able to kite that Feral Manticore, and I'm more than happy to kite this. If that Manticore lands on my Free Company Militia, this is probably game over for me. And it looks like my opponent may have kind of wisened up to this. He is coming back now with the Manticore, looking to dive on top of the company, but they're already starting to break. Some accurate shots from the Solar Engine, as well as the support of the Skink Skirmishers, is actually breaking the majority of my forces. Balance power is back into the middle. In fact, slightly, it would seem, starting to favour my opponent, but his Throw Manticore shall dissipate and return to the void once again relatively soon. It's currently out of control. Paul Man-Eaters, unfortunately, are routing. Balthazar Gelt is the only troop left fighting for me right now, apart from this unit of 11 Ogres with dual weapons who are on the warpath trying to return to the battlefield. Balthazar Gelt is going to be juking it back and forth, darting underneath there. The Bastillodon shot. Manticore does go down, trying to avoid as many little darts and blowpipes from the Skink Skirmishers as possible. A lot of ammunition has waned on my opponent now. Balance power is once again heavily back in our favour, and we are saving up for one last Searing Doom. We do not have the magic for a final transmutation. Chameleon Stalkers are busy trying to chase away Free Company Militia, who may be able to rally here and actually turn around and dispatch the Skinks before coming back to aid their Liege Lord once more. But hey, this is Mercenaries for you. They'll fight to the death for you as long as you're winning, but as soon as it looks like you might be losing and their gold might be in doubt, they're willing to run away and fight again for the highest bidder. One Ogre does go down, unfortunately, to a lovely little shot there from the Solar Engine. We do bait in some of the Skink Skirmishers and whack them with a big fat Searing Doom, doing some pretty nice damage here. Skinks actually getting rather low leadership-wise as the Man-Eaters charge in. It was probably a better idea to hunt them down. Instead, we go after the Bastillodon, who terrifies our troops, including Balthazar Gelt, as the balance of power swings massively against us right now. If we can rally all our troops on the battlefield, maybe there is hope. Free Company Militia have decent ammo, so do the Sterlinger's Revenge in the distance here, and Balthazar Gelt is trying to save up once again for another fat Searing Doom, and the ammunition is almost completely spent right now. Skinks have a few volleys left. The Bastillodon has nothing but its skin, its hide, and its ferocity, and it does of course have terror, so that could be a big problem in the later stages of the game here. Balthazar Gelt does swoop and dodge back and forth, trying to avoid the remainder of my opponent's ammunition, which is starting to go down now, and luckily for us, the Ogres smell gold, and they're going to be charging once again back into the fray with me, lads, once more, charging in, and bam, that is a lot of dead Skinkies on impact. However, the Bastillodon is going to countercharge rather effectively, and the Ogres once again shall rout. Balance power is pretty much dead even again. I think this is mainly due to the fact we still have our Lord on the battlefield, where my opponent does not, and we're going to start hunting down the Skinks. Now that the Bastillodon is kind of away from Balthazar Gelt, as well as the remaining Sterlinger's Revenge, we are going to dive down trying to assassinate these troops. Now, Pound's Impenetrable Pelt does go down on the Skink Priest. Balthazar Gelt is surrounded though and starting to waver once more. Arcane Conduit, I'm so close to one last Searing Doom. Can Balthazar Gelt whip it out of the bag? Down to one leadership here. It's not looking too good for him, and he does actually break as the Revenge gets countercharged here by the Skink Priest. They made him pay in blood for pushing forward, but the mercenary themed build, the Golden Company, the Golden Order, whatever you want to call them, is defeated. And that's what you get for bringing mercenaries to a fight against those loyal to their old ones and the Great Plan. Well played to J-Raptor. It was an awesome game. Once again, if you want to go check out some awesome content, some of it is indeed Warhammer themed as well, make sure to go check out Rubik's Raptor on YouTube. Fantastic dude, really fun to play against him. We always have ridiculous, stupid games, which tend to be very close as well. So hopefully we'll get some more in with him relatively soon, and we shall have our revenge. We might cast another couple, actually. We had a session when we played 4 or 5, and the majority of them were super close and very good fun indeed. I do love the Salamander-themed build, coming in there with a lot of fire damage. The combination of the Ancient Salamander with the Solar Engines, as well as the Umbral Tide, is quite a nice little combo, and certainly worked well here on our poor beloved mercenaries. Hope you guys enjoyed this game. We will delve into the damage dealt and damage value of all of the units in just a second. Before we get there, let me know down below in the comments, what do you think of Ogres in general at the moment? What do you think they need changed and fixed, or what in their roster needs to be brought so they are able to withdraw or endure kind of skirmish cavalry? Because at the moment their units really do get bullied by it quite a bit. I know Noblars are a unit. Maybe we need some counter skirmish elements from them to try to fend off skirmish cav and so forth where possible. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a big juicy fat thumbs up, as well as subscribing if you haven't already. One, you will become one with the Great Dark Legion, so when the Dark Uprising does indeed start, you will be spared, but likewise it helps you guys see my videos and all that glorious stuff. There are links down below in the description to my Patreon if you would like to support the channel, as well as links to my Discord where you can submit replays, get involved in tournaments and events that I host, and keep up to date with the channel. And today, on release of this at 7 PM BST, we will be doing Death Before Dishonor Season 9 Grand Finals. So you're certainly going to want to stick around to watch that. Again, well played here to J Raptor. Let's hop in and see the damage value. 1.3k on Guilty isn't too bad, but with 2 Overcast Final Transmutations and some Searing Dooms, I must admit I was expecting a little bit more value from him, but still, he did a decent job up to 51 kills. Now, these 3 Company Militia were dawdling at the back. They weren't too committed to the fight. They're like, you know what, we'll see how it goes before we were, really lend our swords to the cause. And they got exploded upon by the Chameleon Stalkers, not having a good day whatsoever. However, the other 3 Company Militia did relatively solid, just shy of 500 value, 520, and 1,176 damage value from the Sterling's Revenge. I really do think they're quite a powerful unit in general. For the Mornfang Cavalry, just shy of 1,000 damage value on one unit, 1,100 on the other, 130 kills, not bad, but unfortunately were outdone in the end by the kiting potential of those Skink Skirmishers. For the Ogres with dual weapons, 645, 790, 391, and 1,152 damage value. So a real mixed results there across the board from the units. Some did good, some did bad. It is the way of war. Man-Eaters are great weapons, only 600 damage value, but 946 on the other unit certainly isn't too shabby, but eventually we just run out of steam there. As for the force of J Raptor, tic-tac-toe, only 200 damage value, trying to assassinate Balthazar Gellert with the help of a Manticore, and instead got slapped by the Golden Pimp Daddy himself. Skink Priest the Beast, only 130 damage value, but good use there of Pan's Impenetrable Pelt, and more importantly, those pesky Manticores who did a really solid job driving away our key units. Skinks didn't do too much across the board. Chameleon Stalkers, only one of them actually paid for themselves, despite the fact they get big burst damage. 784 damage value and 530. MVPs of those Temple Guard, though, just such a solid defender of those solar engines. 1,858 damage value, over 10k damage dealt, 13 kills, it doesn't matter, they were 13 important kills, absolutely fantastic work by them. And the Skink Skirmishers also should take a little bow and tip their skink hats to you. 791 damage value, 1,187, and 586, real top-notch play there. Unfortunately, the Salamanders fared okay, but nothing too amazing. 400 value, 500, Ancient Salamander only 600 value. Really just struggling to protect them, with the overwhelming mass of the Ogres pushing through the Skinks and hopping on top of them. As for the solar engines, we've got 427 damage value and 1,863, so you can see which one got shut down first and which one fought to the bitter end with 124 kills and over 12k damage dealt. Gary did us proud there. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. Until next time, peace, peace, and as always, stay awesome.